Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, depending on where you're catching up with us. Today, I'm just coming today because we have been on a challenge and today was day 15. And so I just want to talk about the activities or the things that we'll be doing on day 16, which will be tomorrow. This will be a very quick live stream. It will be a very quick recording because obviously I don't want to take a lot of your time. And the instructions are pretty much straightforward. I recently learned about something that has really revolutionized my life. Worry is something that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. Some good level of worrying can be okay because it just reminds you that you are human and it gives you the opportunity to be able to think about, like, sometimes it might be some of the worries that you're worrying about might be something you can do something about, or it might be something that you're worrying because there's some danger and things like that. So it can be healthy to worry about stuff. But sometimes worry can be unhealthy because it keeps you like kind of thinking of how am I going to be able maybe to do this or the other, and you become so fixated on it at the extent of literally enjoying your life. So it can easily rob you of quality of life. And so recently I learned something which I really want to share with you, and that will be what we'll be allowing ourselves to do tomorrow as we start officially. We've already started the third week, so we finished 2 weeks, so we are at the beginning of week number 3. And one of the things that I just want to talk to you guys about, or to kind of spend time talking a little bit about, is what I learned about worry. So worry can be divided into 2 categories. One of the categories of worry is what is practical worries, where you worry about things that you can do something about it. If I worry, for example, I might not be able to have maybe to do something, or I worry because I have a lot of things that I need to do for my work, or I have to provide for my family and things like that. Those are worries that you can do something practical about them. But there are also those type of worries that are called hypothetical worries, that you worry about but you have very little or control over them. So for example, I can start worrying so much about tomorrow, about what will happen. We know there's a lot of uncertainties around the world. There's the war that is happening at the moment in Israel and in Gaza, and there is what you're hearing at the moment about, let's say, the rebels that are making it difficult for the ferries to transport stuff. And I might start worrying maybe there will not be enough food on the stores, in the shelves. There might not be enough. Maybe the prices of food will go up and things like that. They're hypothetical because I don't know much about what will happen, and even if it happens that there will be too much prices hiking and things like that, there might be something that you can do about that, which can become a practical worry rather than hypothetically thinking about, oh, how will my 2024 turn out to be like? What if I those kind of things that you will not have any solution to them. And so I've learned recently to try and sit down with worry, and also I've learned to try and categorize my worries into practical things I can do about, and the hypothetical where I can't do anything about those worries. And of course, when I was trying to learn these things and trying to divide my worries into these categories, I learned something about practical worries, because if I have practical worries, I can sit down and say, okay, I have a lot of work, so I can sit down and plan and say, I'm going to break my day into A, B, C, D. I'll prioritize, do things, those that are very important, that need a priority, and there are those that are priority, but they're not important. The Pareto rule, I think that's what it's called. And then there are the less important, which are not priority, and then they are the less important, but they are priority. reality, and then trying to kind of assign my day, assign my time to be able to do those things accordingly, so that at the end of the day, I'm able to achieve something from those prioritizing my day, right? If my worry is about providing for my family and maybe I don't have enough money and things like that, I can do something practical about it. I can pray about it and ask God to give me wisdom to go maybe find a second job, or maybe get some skills to be able to get a side hustle and things like that. So if I worry about those practical worries, I can actually get something to do about that, right? And then there is those hypothetical worries, where the hypothetical worries, as I said, there isn't much you can do about them, and you worry most about things that might not necessarily like happen, or they may happen, who knows, but it's just kind of worrying mainly about the future, the what ifs, so to say. And so when you have particularly like today we'll be talking about the hypothetical worries. I've actually learned something that is called having worrying time. Did you hear that right? I'm not inviting you to worry, but I'm just saying you can have what is called worry time. And worry time, what just means like if I have a worry that is coming to my mind and it's really making me feel like I can't continue with my day, I can't really focus, I can't do all those things, you can actually decide and write those worries down. And that's where, of course, when you're journaling, you're writing down those worries. So if, let's say, in the morning I wake up and I start worrying about what if I won't have food, or something will happen, blah, 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 blah. You can actually decide and just sit down and start writing those worries, journaling those worries, and saying to yourself, okay, this is a worry that I'm having about the future. And so because I'm worried about the future, what can I do about this? So you can write it. If my worry came, let's say, at 9 in the morning, and then maybe it gets to 10, and then I'm like worried about something else, write it down. And so when it comes to the end of the day, you can actually get maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes of just bringing those worries down, bringing your journal down, and then going through the worries, and then one by one trying to ask yourself, is there anything I can do about these worries? Is there anything I can maybe move them from being hypothetical into practical? Or if not, for us who are Christians, we know the Bible reminds us not to worry about anything, but with prayer and with supplication we can make our requests known to God. So you can present those worries to God and just say, God, I've worried about what the future will bring. I worry about 2024. I worry about ABCD. And then you bring those worries and give them to the Lord and just hand them over during that worry time. So tomorrow on day 16, I want us to do this. If it's something that you find you worry so much about, so many different things, just take a journal or a book, a notepad and a pen throughout the day, when you're going through those moments, or when you feel worry coming to you, or you're drawn into worry, or your mind is starting to wander into that deep worry and sympathy and empathy, sympathizing with yourself, just writing those worries down. So like, number one, I worry today about the future. Number two, I worry about maybe I'll not be able to get a job when I graduate. Or number three, I worry about blah, 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 those hypothetical worries. And then after that, at the end of the day, don't do this before bedtime, because you will go to bed worried that you were worrying before bedtime. But maybe just at the end of the day, just getting some quiet time, sitting down with your worries, and then just taking a minute. If you are a Christian, for example, and you believe in the power of prayer, you can just pray about those things, and then you can even just symbolically just say, I'm going to hand them over. And as you're handing them, or you're like, okay, Claire, I'm handing this over to Jesus. And then once I've given them to him, I leave it at the feet. And maybe sometimes you may just want to ask yourself, what can I do about these worries? Am I going to, so you're collapsing the time that you spend worrying so much, collapsing it into just a segment. And actually, that can be a good way of dealing with procrastination, because at the end of the day, you're kind of telling yourself, okay, let's use this time, instead of just kind of allowing ourselves to continue to wallow in worry, allowing ourselves to say, okay, this is the time, we will do something about this, we will have some strategies. And as you're having that time, you might actually start to think of what are some of the strategies that I can actually implement to reduce maybe, or to stop worrying, or to deal with these worries. And again, as I said, for me, the best is usually just taking them and bringing them and handing them over, just saying, Lord, this is the things that I'm worrying about, please help me. And if there's something that I need, a skill set that I need maybe to be able to deal with them, or maybe I might need to change some habits and things like that, could you give me wisdom to know how to be able to deal with them? So on day 16, what I just want you to do, I'm not inviting you to worry, nope, but I'm just saying, take some time. If you feel you're constantly worried about some things, just write them down through the day. Just jot them down quickly, so that you're reducing the time that you're spending on worrying. And then just carve out some time, 10-15 minutes at the end of the day, no matter wherever, how much time you need, you figure that out. And then just take some time to deal with those worries, to process them. Let's see how it goes. If you want to let us know in the comments how it goes, that would be amazing. So that's going to be day 16, and I shall see you again on tomorrow when I bring the content for day 17. I pray that you have a great evening as usual. If you find this helpful, please support us by liking, sharing, or subscribing. And of course, I pray that you continue to prosper and be in good health, even as your souls prosper. And I shall see you again on tomorrow, which of course will be the day 17 content. But I pray that you know you're highly loved, celebrated, and appreciated. Have a great evening. Goodbye.